But doesn't it kind of ratify Brian's position here that in DMs you were ultimately very, very, very aggressive?
I was.
Almost like you were trying to obfuscate from what those questions meant.
I was, because I live in a world of sharks. And I just, sometimes I'm in a mood, I'm dealing with freaking law cases and all these things. And judge me however you want to judge me, it's fine.
Law cases?
With the ex-husband, he beat me. I have to press charges in the whole situation.
Yeah, but why would that have anything to do with a podcast?
I'm not saying I'm a victim. I'm just saying as a human being, some days I get a little rattled.
So
and I'm
why
a little,
couldn't
get
you
away from
extend that same courtesy to me when I was a little sharp with her? Instead, you wanted to put your foot down,
because
be
I
the
didn't
language
feel
police.
Safe. I honestly,
you
didn't feel safe.
I was about to go over there and just.
Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch?
I was gonna go over there and just.
It's emotional safety. I didn't feel emotionally safe.
What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? Emotionally
These are all
safe?
buzzwords just to get out of taking responsibility.
It gave her the ick.
But I mean, honestly, I want to know.
I mean, I guess
what
that's a
does
good way to
mean
say it.
When you say to Brian, answering your question doesn't make me feel emotionally safe.
No.
What
When
the
he
hell
said
does that
fuck,
even
when
mean?
he had the comment to her, that's when I didn't feel emotionally safe. When he said fuck, and I engaged, and I, as you described it, I was virtue signaling, you said. It's because it triggered me to be like, oh shit, this is what I was afraid of. I'm not safe here. That's why I tried to give them the most ridiculous part of myself, so I didn't even have to go.
Hang on, you mean at the beginning of the podcast when I pointed out that there could be something which was potentially detrimental to everything that this man has worked for, and so he was frustrated in the moment, and maybe he said something out of turn or untowards. But if I remember correctly, and I was in the back room listening, I do that, the gal who this was directed to said, no big deal. Who are you to come in and advocate on her behalf and say, wait, she's way in the wrong, right? Or this type of thing. That's not really your concern. Who are you to come in and say and make this arbitrary judgment that a person who says something in frustration in regards to their entirety of their livelihood, which could be at stake, that they're in the wrong when the person they said it to was forgiving instantly? Can you explain that to me?
Yeah. I do appreciate her sticking up for me, but I do 100%
and I think that that's totally appropriate.
Where
Listen,
he was coming
I think that I think that's totally appropriate.
And
I understand.
I did
but in the heat of the
understand.
moment, she said, no worries, I'm not even concerned about it. You, on the other hand, made a big deal out of it.
Because I'm the person that all these women come to for help after they need your help.
Who are you to do that? Who are you to do that?
I'm sorry, it's just where I'm at in life and the work that I do, and I deal with the traumas. Everybody comes and brings me all of these traumas that they never had restitution for. And it's things like that she might say it's okay. She's gonna fawn. She's gonna fawn in the moment.
She's not weak. She's not weak. You're saying she's weak.
I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying
she's mature and self-aware and just saying, let's move on. It's business.
And as you saw, we were all able to kind of work through it.
We were all
apologized. We took it down a notch. But we took it down a notch. I was friendly with you. I said I appreciate your...
You're fibbing. And here I can prove it. You said behind the scenes that you wanted revenge. That you wanted to get some gitsy backsies, and that Brian didn't know who he was fucking with. That's what you actually said behind the scenes. Isn't that true?
I didn't hear that either. That is true.
Do you want to? Yes. Do you want to hear the recording? Because I recorded it.
I mean, you literally stood there and
you said he deserved. Hang on. You said he deserved some revenge, some restitution, and that you were going to
know the guy yet.
That's what you actually said.
I didn't know the guy yet. It's a woman being triggered. You have to understand. I have been abused a lot.
Wait,
so there's certain
but did I abuse you?
No, but I'm just gonna.
Did I abuse her?
She turned to her and was like, "This is abuse."
Yeah.
But it was verbal abuse. I mean, that was verbal.
Going back to what Andrew said, though, what specifically, if you guys can recall, what did she say?
Well, here, let Andrew help, because I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Because because me being in the background, sometimes I hit record and I have all of this recorded.
We have it too.
Here's what she actually said. She said that she ain't gonna put up with none of this shit from these motherfuckers.
Yeah, she did.
And that they better know their fucking place, and that she's gonna get revenge if necessary. That's what she actually said.
Toxic
Am I
femininity.
lying? Go ahead, call me a liar.
You have to understand from my perspective. Again, I didn't know the man from
What does that
anything.
have to do with
What
anything?
does that matter?
Because
Toxic
I'm going off of my experience in life with men.
And why include us? Like we can leave right
Okay,
now.
well,
like
I'm sorry.
Why are you
I
talking
shouldn't.
for everybody?
I'm sorry. I just consider myself. I'm a mother. I'm a leader. I have daughters.
but we're
and there's
strong
women.
as well. We're not weak.
And
We
I
don't
didn't.
need you
I
to
didn't
talk
mean it.
for us.
I didn't.
You're taking
I
on
apologize.
that masculine energy, though.
you
that
are
I guess
you're
I
actually
do.
talking
I
about
do.
Wait,
not wanting.
hold on.
I
This
take
could
on
be-
daddy energy if I feel like there's some vulnerable group here that isn't.
We're not vulnerable.
Okay.
We're
anyone here
self-aware that it's a whole podcast. That if that nip slip was there,
Well, I apologize.
he would. It can get
I
banned for life.
apologize for having empathy towards women and
Wow.
making sure
Is
that
it-
we all
wait,
knew
what's-
we
what is
didn't
this called?
have
What is
to
that
be
called?
here.
What is she's it's like it's not really an apology. I'm sorry.
This is,
It's a
that I-
narcissistic
So this is a
apology.
complete and total red herring. Can you just speak to the fact that before you even knew the circumstance of the situation, you actually demanded that the girls get up and leave with you in order to get revenge? That's what you actually
crazy.
requested.
Yes, you
Can you just tell Brian that that's what you actually did? Look at them shaking their head, because I'm right. You requested all of them get up and leave that podcast and leave him high and dry to get revenge. So why don't you get up and get the fuck out of this
wait,
podcast, since you're the one who demanded that this happened to him? Why should we not instead make sure that that
We don't gotta
happens to
kick-
you?
we don't gotta kick-
I mean,
No,
you
this is
definitely
fun,
can,
though.
and you would be in the right. And I am sorry. I overreacted. I was triggered. Okay, I didn't know you from anybody. I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into, and I just never know how things are gonna go.
You're
But you
in
popped
mine.
off
You're
even with
definitely
just
the
random
problem.
questions.
I what?
Hold on.
No,
I
no,
got a
she's
couple more
like- she's like,
questions.
she's the
okay? I got
problem.
some more questions.
There's no way.
I got more questions.
Wait, do you have some more questions?
I do. I got a couple more questions. Not quite yet, Andrew. But I like the what's it called?
You're trying to be Italian.
I do
like
like
the,
that.
I just want to let you know.
I'll tell you this. I
in the
do
background,
appreciate a
she was
man who
trying to
puts me in
convince
my
the girls
place.
who were there at the table to get up and
I heard that
collectively
part.
walk out of the show
I
in
heard that
order to
part.
get revenge against you, because you had a fire at the mouth moment very quickly, because everything you had ever worked for perhaps could be in jeopardy.
Right.
And so you had
It
an
was
emotional outburst. How dare you?
extremely
She actually tried to convince the entire panel to get up and collectively walk out with her. Girls, if I'm lying, tell me I'm lying.
No, I mean, I
not-
told her
I
right
told her
away.
no.
I said,
We
don't
didn't
include
listen.
me. I was like, I'm not
Yeah.
We
We
leaving.
didn't
all like
listen.
respectfully like tried to calm her down and be like,
No,
okay,
yeah.
let's just stay quiet, figure this shit out.
And I
she's
did.
No, you kept yapping. You literally went
yapping.
on bantering or
Well,
like
I need a
for,
minute.
like,
I need a minute. Once I get that
No,
triggered, I
like,
need a minute to calm
I
down.
said, look, I said the rude thing or whatever. Then I was like, okay, time for action. Let me end the stream. We got to delete it. We got to get it all going. Everybody's here.
And you made me feel safe when you came back, and the way that you apologized, it felt very genuine. And to be honest, it really endeared me to you. It really endeared me to you. But I came
We're not
in
gonna
it
fuck.
kind of
I'm-
with this charge.
It ain't happening. It ain't happening.
But
I
what
mean,
about the messages? I just can't get. What
messages
what
were
triggered
very
you?
harsh.
I can't
The-
get over that.
they were
That's
very
so
harsh.
crazy to me.
Wait.
It's me.
This could sort of be like a, and I don't know if this is using the Lord's name and thing, but a come to God moment here. So
Yeah.
now
that's
it's
not using
very rare, like me and Andrew, we constantly get labeled as toxic and abrasive and
No, I don't
well,
think
no,
you
no,
are.
let me finish my point. And typically it's very rare. I don't know if it's ever happened like this. Now, Andrew took shots at some of the women saying they don't look like Scarlett Johansson. I was gone for a bit of that. Every woman here has turned against you.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question for you. Do you frequently find yourself in conflict with people?
No, to be
Really?
honest, because I try to kind of weed out my relationships, and him.
Stop the cap.
You're telling me your life isn't full of constant interpersonal conflict?
I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I run into
Not answering my question.
challenges,
But so
No, I think I have a
the
pretty
whole
peaceful life.
even
to be
though
honest.
so the whole panel has turned against you, and I'm not trying to like
Oh, I feel horrible.
No, this could be a self-awareness moment.
I You know the whole
Growth.
thing of like
I'm not
the
trying
common
to be
denominator.
friends with everybody.
You know the whole common denominator thing. Like if you think everybody else is the asshole, everybody you meet's a jerk,
You
or
have to look at me.
Yeah, you gotta look at
Maybe
yourself.
you're the common
could be
denominator.
now.
Or
What's
it could
think
just
about
be
that
like
also.
I
You're
was
different.
I was trying to weed myself out of this show.
Then why did you reach out to them?
Because a friend said you should contact this podcast, and so I just kind of did it as okay. If
A
if
charity
I'm
work.
supposed to- no, it was just like if
You
it works
blessed
out.
us.
This is how I
Aw,
roll. It's like if things work out, it works out. I don't force it. I speak my truth. I have moods. I'm human. I'm woman. A kid might have been pulling on me. I might have been hangry. I don't know
You're just
what
a
happened.
big bottle of fucking excuses, man. Like, I can't take this shit no more. I'm like getting a fucking headache, dude. Shut the
I'm
fuck
just
up.
not here to
Shut
be
up.
politically
Shut up.
correct. I'm
Shut
not here to be
up.
liked.
Shut the fuck up. I see why men cheat, honestly. With women like that, there's no way.
Wait.
All we need to hear is I'm sorry. I was wrong. Forgive me.
No, I need to hear the entire diatribe again.
No, because they're right. I'm making, I'm not intending to make justifications, but that's how it's coming across. And all that really matters is how I'm affecting people. And if I'm hurting people, I'm hurting people. That's not okay. So I apologize. And Brian, I really apologize. I did not know who I was sending those messages to.
Well, what I would be curious, if you are being genuine, I will be curious to see your social media activity in the coming hours and days after the show, because while you're in person here saying this to me now, you might, use.
I will give you my word that you are safe. Your reputation is safe with me because I situation.
Yeah, but after you leave, you might feel like, well, it wasn't very nice how they confronted me.
No, because
on
you
my
guys real
behavior.
talked me, and I appreciate that. You put me in my place. It's good. That's a good friend. That's
okay.
But I feel like your
healthy.
feelings can change because that happens a lot.
Well,
Because it's
Like,
all in
we're
the
human.
moment,
We're
right?
Don't play
humans.
with it.
no,
Don't play
but
with it.
I have
my
lost all
feelings can
audio,
change
Brian.
in the sense that we all process
well-
things after the
Yeah,
fact.
exactly.
But I'm not going to get mad at
Hey,
you guys.
those
for-
watching us, can you tell Andrew that we'll
told
get
me
it
the
fixed in
truth.
just a sec?
That's how I affected you. I'm not going to go back and be upset
What?
with you. That's how it felt. You were just honest with me, and
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Wait, Maddie, can you stay for just a sec? I need to go back there again and figure out the tech stuff. I apologize, guys. We're having
This is the
a couple tech
restitution.
issues.
Just talk about it. There's
Yeah.
nothing
I'm
to
pretty.
carry on.
No,
I am.
exactly. Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
but I am pretty confident that you're going to you're. I feel like you're going to be a little two-faced with this. You're apologizing to me now, but you're going to go on some witch hunt diatribe
I'm sorry.
on your social
I'm sorry
media.
that I made you feel unsafe that I would do that.
Well, let's actually see if you walk the walk. So, I mean, I'd be.
Yeah, that's
do you,
the only
do you
way.
have
I can shake on it and I can give you
shake
my
on
word.
shake on? Well, we don't need to shake, but shake on what?
Shake on the fact that I trust you as a man, and I overall have had a good experience, and I'm glad that we all talked about everything because there's nothing toxic to leave with. I was out of line. You guys put me in my place. I'm sorry. We
Oh,
all have
man.
different
You know-
perspectives. And
You know who's the most skeptical here? As I'm looking around the panel, is Kay. Look at you, Kay. You're totally skeptical. You don't believe a fucking word of it.
Not a
tell us
motherfucking
you
word.
don't. You don't
Here.
believe any of it.
So
do you?
before we were,
Because
you
you
know
remind
what?
me of my dad. I can't.
Well, I'll have you come in just a sec, but because me and Andrew have encountered this before, where we've had people come on the show and then they proceed to for days or even weeks, they will, while we were otherwise fairly, even though we perhaps had arguments with them or we disagreed with them, sometimes even gets heated. Stop. Sometimes it even gets heated. They will then go on to basically do what we described as what toxic femininity is, which is reputation destruction. Andrew, I'm sure you know precisely who I'm talking about. Wait, can Andrew hear me? Yeah. So I'll just be curious to see in the coming days and weeks your conduct on
Yeah,
your own
and
social
you guys
media.
have dirt on
oh
me.
my God. We don't.
I'm sorry.
okay.
Well, I'm
You're-
just saying you do.
Oh my God! I
technically.
went on the misogynistic podcast and he was
No,
about
no,
to
no,
slap
no,
me
no,
across
no.
the face. I felt I was
No.
unsafe. He was going to come
No.
over there and
No.
And
You
punch me.
genuinely handled that situation very well. It wasn't my favorite. The shut the F up. That wasn't my favorite. And I
I
reacted.
tried to convince the entire panel to get up and leave with you, even though they had
I
flown
didn't
in
convince
from all
them. They
over
weren't
from
gonna go.
different places and had come in here to get
Malevolent.
exposure
Yeah, I
for the
remember she
various
said she
social
flew.
media. Wanted to engage with multiple people. You tried to lead a coup d'etat in order to be what? What was the gain
coup
there?
d'etat.
That's what I want to know.
I
What was
just-
the ultimate gain
Malicious.
for you?
Honestly, to be honest with you, I mean, you don't maybe won't believe me, but I just wanted to feel safe.
Feel safe.
So you're
Kay,
malicious.
Kay, how come you don't believe a fucking word of it, Kay? I see you over there.
Yeah, No, let's-
I'm just looking
Nobody
at my
escapes me over here. What's up?
Wait,
What's
no,
going
hide,
on?
Hide StreamYard. Hide Stream. No. Nick, hide StreamYard. Go ahead. So
Okay,
before
go
we had some internet connection, you were go off queen. Just channel that same energy.
Yo, I did it again.
Wait, just okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so I just think that she's just a big ball of fucking excuses. I'm not sorry. You're just a bunch of just excuses. You don't take accountability for anything. If anyone calls you out on anything, you try to act like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. You did. This is just you, and then this is what you put out into your relationships, I'm sure. Because I know it wasn't just the guy's fault, 100%. Obviously, the one that, that's bad, but I think that you must have done something that led up to that even happening. Just the way that I'm watching and listening to everything that you're saying and how you react to other people, how you message people you don't know. I think you're the problem 100%. And I think you really do need to go to therapy. Not you just being a therapist and helping other people. I think you need to help yourself before you even think to help others, to be quite honest with you.
Every therapist
Now,
should have
and now
a
you
therapist.
see that vibrational frequency, which intertwined
nothing
with your
wrong with
vibrational
therapy.
frequency, destroyed it. You see how that works? When those two vibrational frequencies get together, you have the base frequency, the other based frequency hits that base frequency, and it just destroys it. That's how the vibration actually works. Just so you know.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong
That's
with
why
therapy.
that
I
wide
know.
glass splits, just to tie it all together, right? But I mean, Kay is right. I guess we won't belabor the point forever.
Yeah. We'll move
But
on.
I do think it did deserve a little bit of belaboring because it was frustrating to kind of hear that there was like an attempted coup d'etat in the background, and then he just kind of pretended that we'll just move past it. But I think the other girls, not so stupid, kind of picked up on it a bit. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, we immediately were like, okay, so she's a
No,
troll.
yeah, the-
like
the
we're
very
like, we
beginning.
really thought you were a troll. We thought like you were
Yeah.
being that, like you were
I
doing that on
genuinely-
purpose.
I genuinely,
But
it
then
was a
comes to find
particular-
out that's just who you
It
are,
was
and
a
I'm like,
particular
dang.
trigger for me that was a rough one, and I overreacted, and I'm sorry.
But asking basic questions was a trigger too. So just everything's a trigger.
Good,
Well,
good point.
Yeah, to be
you-
honest, which is why I was, again, overly aggressive in my communication because I just assumed
I just think you're
I
broken.
wouldn't even get.
Okay.
Okay, no, she's broken.
Yes,
Like,
we're all
so
broken in one way.
I know, but hers is hers
no,
is on
no,
a
no,
different
yeah.
level.
But
We're we're able to have a conversation and not act like this.
like
Yes, I
if
think you're
girl to
broken.
girl, like looking at the whole messages, it doesn't make you feel like, dang, like let's take a step back. Like maybe I need to like reevaluate like how how I perceive myself and opportunities, and really realize like you're not where you think you are.
Well, here's the thing. If I would have come to this show and thought this is about coming together and loving each other and just seeing through differences, I would have carried a different vibe. I was just
So
under
you're
the impression
conditional.
I was under
How
the
you treat people,
impression
it's
we were
conditional.
just here to bring up taboo topics and just be entertaining. I thought it was just about, I didn't know that it was about
It
us
doesn't matter.
bonding
So
and
you're
like
conditional on
loving
how
each
you
other.
treat people, depending if it's going to do something for you.
Well, that was
it's
very
just-
well
I
established in the
wasn't-
beginning.
I wasn't, honestly,
That's
I came
true.
into this, I maybe should have researched it more, what I was
just
even
gonna
getting
say that you
into.
should
I
have.
had no idea.